curious monsters, and welcome to the lab. I'm Teacher Jackie. Do you have enough dice? How about one more? Today, we're gonna learn about the numbers 7 and 8. And then we'll make our very own D8. That's an 8-sided die this time. After that, I'm gonna teach you how to play House Hockey Shootout. Sound like fun? Well, let's go. Before we get cracking, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. This helps other kids find this video and other fun stuff like it. And it helps you keep finding things like this. See, it's a win-win situation all around. This is part 4 of the series. The videos for numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are on the channel. You can look through and do those activities first. The links to those are down below. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's get to the numbers. After 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we have 7. So that means there's nothing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nothing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nothing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After 7, we have 8. So that's nothing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And nothing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that we're familiar with these numbers, let's learn how to write them. First up is number 7. 7 is a sleeping line with a slanting line going down. Now, the tricky part is to figure out where it should be facing. Here's the trick to do it with your hands. If you use this hand, the right hand, to write like I do, this will work for you. Put your other hand, the left hand, down and tilt it to the side, like this. Then, draw a sleeping line over all your fingers. Then, draw a slanting one along the side of your hand where your thumb is. And there you go, a perfect 7. If you write with the left hand, place that hand down on the board to check which way it should go and then write it. Practice a few more times by filling up your board or paper. Next, we'll do number 8. 8 is super easy to make. It's just 2 circles on top of each other. It kind of looks like a snowman. That's why I call it, surprise, surprise, the snowman number. There's another way to write it, which is to write an S and then loop back to the start. Choose your favorite way to write it and practice by filling up your board or paper. Now that we've learned how to write those numbers, it's time to make our own D8. It looks like this. It sort of looks like a diamond. Or, if you've played Sims before, it kind of looks like a plumb bob. Yup, that's what it's called. Well, this thing has lots of faces, and the D8 has only, well, you guessed it, 8. To make this, we'll need some cardboard. You can use whatever you have. Folders, old cereal boxes, things like that. We'll need some scissors, a pencil, and a marker. Finally, glue and tape to put it together. Then we'll also need art supplies so we can decorate and personalize our D8. You can use whatever you want. To make a D8, we're gonna need 8 triangles that are exactly the same size and shape. Also, we're going to need a square to put them together. Basically, we're making 2 pyramids and sticking them together. There are several techniques to make triangles. I'll show you the method using a ruler and a compass. If you don't have either of those, I have alternative ideas to use the same techniques but with different materials. Let's start with the triangles. we're going to make equilateral triangles again. That means every single side on all the triangles are exactly the same. We'll do the ruler method first. If you don't have a ruler, you can use any straight edge that you can use to trace. Just make sure you make note of how long each of the sides are. First, draw a sleeping line. Note how long it is. Measure out the middle of that line and draw a standing line from there. From one side of the line, measure out the length of the sleeping line and draw a slanting line that bumps into the standing line. Then, do the same for the other side. If you did it right, the slanting lines should bump the standing line at the exact same place. Draw the outline of the triangles. Let's do the compass method next. First, draw a sleeping line again. Then, put the sharp tip of the compass on one end of the line and the pencil side on the other. Now, draw the curve. Switch the tips. Put the sharp tip on the other side, then draw the curve again. The point where the two curves met is the tip of your triangle. Draw a slanting line with a ruler or straight edge from the tip to the sides of the sleeping line. And there's your triangle. If you don't have a compass, you can use a piece of string. Tie one end of it to your pencil and then hold the other end over the tip of the sleeping line and make your curves the same way as you did the compass. Here's a trick to save space on your cardboard. You can actually draw the triangles sticking together. The line of one can also be the line of the other. Or you can cut the first triangle out and trace it 7 more times to have 8 triangles. Now we need the square in the middle. This will connect the two pyramids into the DH shape. Make a sleeping line that's exactly as long as the lines of the triangle. Then, make a standing line on either side of it. To make sure the angle is right, you can use the corner of something to make the start of the standing lines. Then, connect the two standing lines at the top. When you're done, you can cut out all your shapes. Remember that when you're cutting, the scissor hand should always stay pointing forward. If you'd need to turn something to get a better angle at cutting, use your other hand to turn the board. If you're having trouble keeping your hand pointing forward, you can tuck a board under your armpits as you cut. Now we design our cardboard. The first thing we'll do is to write a number on every triangle. When we paint, make sure that the numbers are still clearly seen. You can draw a circle around them or just be careful not to paint over them. Leave the paint to dry. We can't go on to the next step if the triangles are still wet. When the paint is dry, we can start building our D8. Cut a few little strips of cardboard. These will be to connect the cardboard to each other. Next, lay out the triangles. Make sure that the numbers are on the underside. Group them into 4s. One group of 4 and another group of 4. If you want, you can make sure all the numbers are standing the right way up, but it really doesn't matter too much. Put glue on the sides of the triangle. Let them dry a little bit so that they will be super sticky. When the glue is at maximum stickiness, put the small strips of cardboard between the triangles. Let that dry before the next thing. When that's dry, we'll start closing the pyramids. To do that, we'll put glue on the ends of the triangle chain. because when it closes, they will meet. Air the glue a little bit before sticking the strips. Then, fold the pyramid closed and leave it to dry. When that's dry, we'll stick the square to the bottom of one of the pyramids. Put glue around the edges of the square where the strips will go. Fold the strips and then stick them on the square. And then let it dry again. Then, when that's dry, put glue on the inside of the pyramid at the spot where the strips will stick. Air it a bit and then gently lower the pyramid onto the square. Make sure the strips align with the glue. And then, you guessed it, leave it to dry. When that's dry, do the same for the other pyramid. When everything is dry, we can tape up the edges to seal up the D8. And there you have it! You made your own D8. Just like any other dice, the number that's on top is the one that you rolled. You can use this anytime you need to roll a random number for any sort of game or activity. Also, we'll be using this a lot on the channel. Now it's time for the game! We're gonna play House Hockey Shootout. Here's what we'll need. First, you need a wide open space to play. Then, you need to set up a goal. You can use chairs, cones, or toys, or whatever. Then, you need lots and lots of small balls to try to shoot into that goal, and someone to play with. If you want, you can also have a small container for the balls that you're gonna use each round. If you don't have small balls, or you don't have enough, worry not. I got you. Here's how to make a ball out of socks. Take one sock from a pair and scrunch it up in a ball. Then, stuff it into the other sock. Push it all the way in. Then, put your hand into that sock. Twist the end of it a few times and hold it with the hand that's inside the sock. Take off the sock and pull it over the balled up part. If you're using short socks, you should be done by now. If you're using long socks, like I am, do that part again until you make a ball. Twist and hold, then pull over. And there! Now you have a sock ball. You'll need about 8 sock balls for this game. Here's how to play the game. I'm gonna give you different variations on how to play. Just mix and match depending on what you and your family would like to use. The first variation is whether to just throw the ball into the goals or use a stick, like in real hockey. Level 1. Set up the goal with whatever you have. Put one down and then take one big step, and that's where you put the other one. Then, standing as far away from the goal as you can, roll your D8. That is the number of balls that you can get to use for this round. That's the number of tries you have to shoot the balls into the goal. Take turns with whomever you're playing with. Then, at the end of each round, check to see who had the most shots go into the goal. Level 2. Set up your goal with whatever materials you have and stand as far away as you can. Roll the D8 and then that number will be how many balls you have to use for this round. Still the same so far, but this time, the other player gets to guard the goal. They will be a goalie trying to stop your shots from going in. Once you've used up all your tries, see how many balls got in, and that will be your score. After that, switch places with the other player. It's your turn to be the goalie. Make them roll the die, gather the balls, and try to shoot the balls in, and you have to stop it. After the round, see who got the most shots in. And finally, level 3. This time, you're gonna set up 2 goals facing each other. Make sure they're as far away from each other as possible. Both players will roll the D8 and gather their balls for their try. But instead of taking turns, both of you will be the goalie at the exact same time. Both of you will try to shoot your balls into the other goal, and both of you will try to stop the balls from going into your goal. Now, see who gets the most shots in. And that's it! That's our game for today. I hope you had fun playing House Hockey Shootout. Moms and dads, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, so you will always be connected and up to date with all things Curious Monster Lab. That's also the best place to reach us if you have any questions about any of the activities we have. Well, don't let me keep you from playing the game. See you next time. But always remember this: be brave, be kind, and stay curious.